All right, guys, this is odd. Okay, this is now odd. Let's have a conversation. The George Russell contract situation is still pending. And I know before the summer break kind of began, George Russell was kind of given good talk of Mercedes, because it's been a weird season, right? Because George Russell has kind of gone through the limbo of emotions in terms of what's actually going on with my contract, what's going on with me at Mercedes. On one hand, it's a case of, look, if I just put the performances in, I'm sure Mercedes will give me a new contract. Then obviously the Max Verstappen rumors to Mercedes has been a big thing, especially with the fact that Max and George just don't like each other, don't respect each other at all. And then George was kind of like, look, it's a matter of when, not if, after the Hungarian Grand Prix, right? And kind of put everybody else like at ease, in a sense, kind of put some cold water on the whole situation. But I must admit, guys, there's something smelly, because we've had 4 weeks of a break in Formula One. We've had, I get it, 2 of those weeks are probably where you're not allowed to do anything, and no Formula One team can work. Basically, they have to have that time off. But whilst that wedged door is still open, something tells me that this George Russell contract is actually not sealed. It's actually not signed and done. And a matter of, when should we put it out? When should we put it out? Normally in the summer, we get these kind of what they call the silly season. We get all these rumors and talks about driver swaps and contract extensions and, people leaving Formula One, people joining Formula One, teams and so on and so forth, right? But the Formula One news front in the summer has been very strangely weird and quiet. Because even Cadillac, the whole Cadillac talk about who's going to be their driver has been rumor mill, almost certain rumor, but then nothing's still coming out. When you go and look back at your Formula One news over the past couple of weeks, it's still the same old stuff. Will Hamilton improve? What's the situation with Max Verstappen? George Russell's contract? The title race obviously between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. But you sort of sitting there thinking, hang on a minute. Like, I get rumor talks is a thing, and I get, teams will deal with their business in the right due time and all that kind of thing. And if Mercedes were not out there lifting up the skirt towards Max Verstappen, I would actually understand and agree and be like, there's nothing to talk about here. There's actually nothing to say regarding this George Russell situation. But there is something to say, because this contract is still not signed. And there's Grand Prix, and Formula One has returned. We're back. We're here. There are races being done right now at the time of recording. So what I find extremely strange is that they still haven't announced it. Now, maybe, just maybe, George Russell might be sitting there thinking, hang on a minute, I'm not happy with these terms. The terms you're giving me now, like, we didn't agree to this, or I think I'm worth more, or it might be the length of contract that might be in dispute, because I think that's probably where the balance might hang. Even if Max Verstappen isn't going to Mercedes next season, George Russell's not signing a 1-year extension at Mercedes. That's for damn sure. He will want to sign an extension whereby at least it covers him at least 2 years. But even that's still dodgy. I'd say 3 years he'd be pushing for, especially because he's been brilliant in that Mercedes. He's earned the right to have an extended contract at Mercedes, no question. Got Lewis Hamilton the hell out of here, right? Obviously he's going to do better than Kimi Antonelli, because Kimi Antonelli's a rookie. He's good, George Russell's getting them podiums. He's got race wins under his belt, even when Mercedes have been garbage. This is not like a dibby driver we're talking about. We're talking about a good driver here in Formula One. But then, if you are in the George Russell camp, if you're a George Russell fan, if you're in the, your favorite driver is George Russell, you have to start getting twitchy and start having to look elsewhere, because something tells me Mercedes are still hoping that Max can come to Mercedes, can come here. And it might not be next season, but it could be the season after. And the idea that it's a matter of when, not if, George was so bold with that. It was so bold that it kind of we just assumed, okay, we're going to get the news in the next couple of days, maybe. But it's been 4 weeks since that comment. It's been 4 weeks, and we are here now, ready for Formula One to finish what it started, which has been a fantastic season, by the way. And there is still no talk about George Russell's contract in terms of it actually being signed, being given and signed. So that's a concern, I must say. Very, very odd behavior from Mercedes. Very, very strange what they're getting up to. Going for Max Verstappen is odd, not because he's a good driver, because dude, Max is the best in the world right now. But even just like the whole, like, you know, like when you think about the history of Max Verstappen, Red Bull, Horner, Toto Wolff, Lewis Hamilton, that's already messy in itself. And maybe, you know what, they have just moved on. Everyone's moved on. I've seen Lewis chatting to Max Verstappen a few times. I've seen them have a conversation. I know that Christian Horner has spoken well-ish of Lewis Hamilton. I think Lewis Hamilton has done the same. You know, obviously with the news with Horner leaving Red Bull. But like Toto Wolff, it's almost like it just feels a bit, well, you know, like Hamilton's gone, right? And now it almost felt like this is now a door and a way for me to now go get what I really wanted. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems weird. That just seems odd to me. It seems strange. The relationships just doesn't add up. Like, I can't see, I mean, I couldn't see Ferrari with Lewis Hamilton. I couldn't see Hamilton in a Ferrari uniform, neither Vettel for that matter. But I can't see Max Verstappen in a Mercedes outfit. It just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit to me. Where do I see Max is a good question though. I can't really, there is something weird about him and Ferrari that does make me think, that's a weird match made in heaven. Don't know. But what I'm discussing here is this contract of George Russell's that's still not here. And best believe once this is uploaded, George Russell signs a new deal with Mercedes to 2028. You know, like a proper good contract as well, a good extension. But yeah, as at the time of recording, there's nothing being said here, and we're just sitting here. We're just sitting here, like waiting, twiddling thumbs, because it will be Abu Dhabi before you know it. And we're there like, oh, so what's Mercedes driver lineup next year? Oh, right. Russell still hasn't signed. Or Mercedes haven't given Russell a contract, you know? And that's, yeah. I mean, even if Russell doesn't get the contract that he wants at Mercedes, I reckon like Toto Wolff and people like that will sort a suitable team for him. I just think that they're that way. I've seen them do it before with like Esteban Ocon and people like that. Mercedes are pretty good at that sort of thing, especially if you're their driver. But this is such odd behavior from Mercedes. I genuinely don't understand. The only thing that's making me think, because I can't think like, press, you got media, the comms department, PR, legal team, they'll all have their bit in this, and it'll be like, when should we do it? When's a good time to put it out? This isn't one of those situations where it's time to find the right moment. I don't think it is. So something tells me there's a bit of haggling going on between Russell and Mercedes. And I have a feeling it's to do with the fact that Russell's only been given a 1-year extension, which would be scandalous. Scandalous. But maybe they got guarantees that Max Verstappen will join Mercedes in 2027. Who knows? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Get commenting down below. Smash the like on the video if you like Formula 1 content like this. YouTube thinks you will like this video over here, so make sure you do have a butchers while I debate on what the deal is with this George Russell contract. Until next time, lights out.